Alright, so Fight of the Fallen is all finished up and wow. Okay, so AEW knows how to do a pay-per-view. It's not that it wasn't without problems. It was at the high points hit so well that those problems just don't seem as prevalent. Whereas when you have something that's more mediocre, those problems just stand out. Whereas this show was something. We started off in the buy-in. I'm sure anyone watching had the closed captioning problem. That did not help the women's match, which was really unfortunate because that women's match was great. But outside of that, I think the buy-in was better than the last one. The Librarian, Peter Avalon versus Sonny Kiss was entertaining. I enjoyed getting to see Sonny Kiss do what he does, and so athletic, so great. Glad he got the pin, glad he finished it out and got to have a win. Then we got, in the buy-in, after that we got Dr. Britt Baker DMD and Rio versus Shoko Nakajima and Babe Priestley. She is the Stardom champion. She is fantastic. She's great. She will bring just another level of star power. Tried to avoid the pun even, but I still walked into it. She is fantastic and is a relative unknown, I feel like, to most of the American audiences. There were some issues in that match. I will not say that was a perfect match. Britt Baker tagging the wrong person was not a great start. Yes, there were some timing issues and some things, but I really think the high points were really fun, and I really enjoyed the match overall. And I like a lot that Rio and Britt Baker, they lost. It makes it so the field is wide open for all of the other women. I wish the brawl afterwards was longer, but I very much enjoyed the match. After that, we got MJF, Shawn Spears, and Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin, Joey Janela, and Jimmy Havoc. That match was just on point. The story that they were telling, MJF and Shawn Spears not getting along, I really enjoyed it. That match was there was so much going on, but they did such a good job telling a story. I really liked the Shawn Spears chairman gimmick. Right off the bat, Joey referenced his Blink-182 fight against Enzo. Like 15 seconds into the match, I really am just very happy that he plays up his part so well, where he's okay making fun of himself. He's okay making fun of the fact that he kept backing away from Enzo, and he did that in the ring. That was hilarious. Darby Allin getting the best reaction out of the match made my day. I was so happy because I didn't know how he would be received in AEW, and he seems to just be doing so well. The crowd was all behind him. The match was great. I loved it. Did not like the fact that the classical heels won. I don't like that Shawn Spears got the pin. I think that the fact that the hardcore guys were more on the same page with each other, I think that should have shined more and it should have gotten them the win. But I really love the match, and Shawn Spears getting a win in general isn't a bad thing. It should be good. Then we got Brandy versus Allie. Mediocre match. Brandy versus Allie kicked off the main show. I think it should have been swapped. I think Brandy versus Allie should have been in the buy-in. I don't think that it was worth being on the main show as much as the other women's match. That match, there was just more going on. I think it had better wrestling. Just to be frank. So I think that those should have been swapped, but either way, I get Brandy has more star power than the rest, and it was still a good match. Brandy did a good job. She did bring out Awesome Kong, just like Hollywood Joe said would happen. He was right. Brandy got the win. I don't know how I feel about that. It's okay. It's fine. I don't like that Allie lost, even though there were shenanigans involved and it definitely wasn't a clean win. I still wish Allie would have came out ahead, but Brandy won, and that's the direction they're going. It is what it is. I really liked the three-man tag. The Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus got to just look real strong. Angelico looked really good. The Dark Powers, they came out ahead. That's fine. I get it. They're trying to build up that team to be something. I understand. I get the direction. It was really hard for me to see Jungle Boy take the pin. I'm not a fan of that. I wish it would have been someone else, even Luchasaurus. I get Jungle Boy's the smallest, and it makes, in terms of like normal logic, it makes the most sense, but I wish Jungle Boy didn't have to eat the pin. It makes Jungle Boy look like the weak link, and I just don't really agree with that. I don't think that was the best way to go, but it is what it is. It was a fantastic match. There was amazing spots. It was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. That led into Hangman Page and Kip Sabian, which I will mention, I did not care for Kip's promo off the bat. He's probably not super used to that, and there was a lot of pressure. It was obviously like a whole thing. I understand. I hope it gets him used to it. I hope he gets over the nerves. I hope that maybe they try to rein him in a little bit, because I think he has a good energy. It wasn't a good promo. It wasn't done very well. Whereas, inside the ring, they were awesome. It was a very solid match. It was not as good as the three-man tag, or I would say even the hardcore versus the classic heels, but it was a very good match. Hangman Page obviously came out ahead. He sold his knee injury well. I think that it sets up well a story between the Walls of Jericho, or the Lion Tamer, and Hangman Page. I think it'll go into All Out, which, speaking of, Chris Jericho came back, and apparently he was playing up being part of one of the Dark Order guys, came out and jumped Hangman Page. I love that Chris Jericho's, the thing about his gimmick is coming out in disguise and jumping his future opponent. I think that's fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the post-match brawl. Page got busted open one way or another, and it looked really good. It looked gruesome. Very much enjoy. I'm very excited for their match coming up. After that, we got SCU versus the Lucha Brothers. It was a spot fest in the best way possible. I really loved it. There were a couple of timing issues, but overall, the match was solid, and I really enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure at one point I saw Phoenix seem like visibly annoyed by a timing issue, but outside of that, it was really good. I think that those are two of the best tags going right now. They're very solid. They both know what they're doing. It was good stuff. I absolutely loved. There was a point where Phoenix jumped out from the outside the ropes and delivered a double cutter to SCU, and it was so smooth, and that was so well timed. I was all about it. I was very into it. And Lucha Brothers came out ahead. They needed to. That was a good call. Lucha Brothers for the win. Then we got Kenny versus Shima. Fantastic. I mean, we called it. That was a very easy call. Assuming Shima and Kenny Omega having a good match, that's an easy prediction. It was a fantastic mix of styles between what Kenny does and what Shima does. They blended them really nicely, where Kenny just was having a hard time for most of the match. He took like 5 to 8 Meteoras, one of which was on like a square pedestal on the outside, where Shima jumped from the balcony seating area. It was awesome. It was a really cool spot. All the while watching, going, this should be the main event. This should be the main event. This is so good. This should be the main event. Later on, pleasantly surprised. But it was really fantastic. I really enjoyed it. It was such a fun match. I'm a huge Kenny mark. I really loved those two guys wrestling. I think they complement each other very well. I think that there was a fantastic back and forth. It was so natural seeing Shima and Kenny, and then Shima and then Kenny going back and forth, back and forth. It was great. Kenny wins with a one-winged angel. Not too surprising, since Kenny obviously has to be one of the top guys in AEW, since he's just one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. But great payoff. Shima doesn't look any weaker because of that loss. Both of those guys came out ahead, even though Shima lost. Then you get ready for the Brotherhood, the Rhodes Brothers versus Young Bucks, and instead we get a Jericho promo, which is great. He really put Hangman Page over. I don't even know how many times. I tried to count how many times he said Hangman. He said Hangman like 15 times in his promo. He did such a good job establishing Hangman Page and how good he is and how legitimate he is. Chris Jericho knows what he's doing on the mic, obviously. He's as experienced as you possibly could be, and he made Page look like $1 million while literally calling him a bitch. It was fantastic. Hangman Page comes out. They have a really awesome brawl. It was a lot of fun. Hangman Page gets to look stronger because he got jumped by Jericho earlier. I think it was well done. They had the locker room come out. They had separation. Hangman Page comes out looking like he isn't scared of Jericho. They look like they're on even footing, even though he's got a black eye and he's all beat up. Fantastic. It was a really good way to establish that match. Makes me all the more excited for All Out. It did its job. Fantastic. End of the night, we've got Young Bucks versus the Brotherhood. Completely captivating. It really just sucked me in. Even though it wasn't as strong in terms of like move sets and what they're doing, I believe, as Kenny versus Shima. What they did do was more impactful. It was really fun to see the Rhodes Brothers go out of their norm. They were doing aerial stuff. Dustin did like a corkscrew crossbody off of the top rope. Did a off the apron senton. It was awesome. It was really cool. They obviously gave it everything they had. They swapped finishing moves at one point. Cody took a crossroads. The Young Bucks took super kicks. The Rhodes Brothers took the lay down uppercut. It was awesome. It was so much fun. They told a fantastic story. I am really sad at the end that the promo got cut off because of time. This is where the disadvantage of not having your own network comes in, because WWE does not have to care if they are going over time on their pay-per-views. If they have a promo, if they have something, they can keep going, whereas the Young Bucks and the Rhodes got cut off because they needed to do the check ceremony, which I understand. The whole point of the show was for victims against gun violence and raising money towards it. I understand. It's unfortunate because I was really liking where that promo was going, but it only got like 30 seconds of airtime before they had to go to the check. They raised $150,000 towards the victims of gun violence. Awesome. That's fantastic. That is really awesome. I am really happy that they got to do something. I was wondering when he passed off the mic to Kenny how he was going to sign off, because his sign off literally involves gesturing a gun and saying bang. He instead just said he's going to do boing, and he said no one gets in trouble for bouncing. That is not true, Kenny. You are a liar. People get in trouble with bouncing all of the time. I enjoyed that they obviously thought about it and cared about it. And overall, it was a really great show. I very much enjoyed it. And I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about it, because it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Even though I watched G1 earlier today, I still was able to watch this whole show and not just be sick of wrestling. It pulled me in and it made me really excited for what was going on. So, yeah, another successful show. Of course, there are some negatives, but that's just how anything goes. If you're going to put on anything that goes for 3+ hours, 4+ hours, see, that's the thing. I don't even know how long it was because I was just so pulled into it. There's going to be some low moments, but the high moments completely make up for it. I really enjoyed the show. It was free, so it's even better. It's not even like I put $50 again towards it. It's not like it was double or nothing. It was just a free stream for getting to watch some wrestling, and it was awesome. I highly recommend it. If you didn't check it out, check it out. It's free. Go find it. Go sign up for Bleacher Report, and the replay is going to be up sooner rather than later. I'm sure it'll be up by tomorrow. So by the time, if you're watching this, it's going to be up. So you should go check it out because it was really great. Hopefully, if you're checking it out, though, you're stopping before you just got all the spoilers that I just did. But either way, even if you got all the spoilers and you're thinking maybe I shouldn't watch it, you should watch it because the wrestling is fantastic. So yeah, that is my feelings about Fight for the Fallen. Highly recommend. Very much enjoyed. Definitely worth the time. I'm Toddy Wrestling. This has been a Kayfabe Studios video in production. Have a good night. Or probably day, because it's night for me, but it'll probably be day for you.